we're here every Tuesday night. We will have another one next Tuesday night. Then we'll take a couple weeks off for the holidays and we'll start up again. So, the whole thing is concern leads to fear, fear leads to panic, and panic causes paralysis. What I want to do with these meetings, I want to give you good information that you can start taking action in this market because now is the time. We've had kind of a year of transition and repositioning, but there are opportunities coming down the pipeline, and I want you prepared and ready to take action and make an impact. So, facts always defeat fear, and that's what we're here to share. In case you don't know me, my background is I've been investing for over 30 years. Yes, I started when I was 12. And I've done just about everything. The thing that I'm kind of known for, it was a nickname given to me, is the deal diva. And so tonight we're going to talk about putting deals together. And that's really my forte. You will find different quotes out there in the media that I say good deals may be found, but great deals are created. So it's really about being able to create the deals that matter versus just finding good deals. So I'm going to talk a little bit about sources for deals and then show you how I reposition deals to make them great deals. In my background, I've purchased and sold over 2,000 properties. I did over 800 rehabs remotely in the Atlanta market after the 2008 crash. I've done land development, and in the Bay Area, I've done quite a bit of ground up development. Adding on like 1,000 square feet or 500 square feet or building, doing lot splits, things like that. So that really is my strong suit. I've also owned multifamily and I have commercial. So a good amount of education and all of that. So most investors know what's happening in the marketplace. They're hearing all the media and all of that. Good investors understand what's happening, but great investors are the ones that take action. And so I'm sharing this because I want you guys to take it and take action. So out of the deal finding strategies, I categorized them into like 3 separate areas. The nearly free sources, the marketing for deals, and referral sources. The nearly free is nearly free financially, but it's going to take more time. So if you have money and you don't want to spend as much time, you can market for deals. Or if you're a connector, you can get referral sourcing. So I have over 31 different ways to find deals. When people tell me there's no deals out there, it's because they're not looking. They don't want to do the hard work. There's 31 different ways, and I'm sure that there's probably 100 more that are out there, but these are the more common ones. So let's get started with the nearly free deal sources. The first one is there's tax liens. This is easy. You go to just about any website for any municipality and you can buy the tax liens. If the person redeems the taxes, then you earn a certain percent. A lot of times it can be anywhere from 15% to 24% annualized. And so it's a real easy way to make money. Code enforcement notices. If you reach out to the code enforcement office and ask for a list of all the notices that they've sent out, there are people that are receiving these notices, most likely tired landlords, and they are a good source to find houses. Pre-foreclosure list. The foreclosures are starting to tick up. Like we saw a few weeks ago, in 2010, there were about 1.7 million foreclosures, either in notice of default stage, notice of trustee sale, and foreclosed. Right now, we're about 185,000. That's nationwide. So 1.7 million down to 185,000. But that 185,000 is up from the 65,000 that were in 2021. So we are seeing a little uptick, but there's not going to be this big tsunami like there was in 2010 because people have equity. So they have options. Probate listings, you can look in the newspaper for obituaries. A lot of times the probate has to give a public notice if they've received a bid on the property, so you can go in and bid on it. You can contact attorneys, but probate is always a good way to get leads. Same thing with eviction records. You start stacking eviction records and code enforcement, and you're going to find a landlord that's getting tired. Craigslist. Surprisingly, you can find deals on Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace, same thing. And Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is kind of known in the marketplace for their education, but they also now have a marketplace where you can find wholesale deals. Now there's another slide, nearly free. There's a lot of sources here. MLS listings. And you might think, how can you find a deal on MLS? But I'm here to tell you that's where a lot of the deals are. Real estate auction sites. Just really pay attention on the auction site because it is buyer beware. So you don't typically get to do inspections. You need to buy it kind of sight unseen. And so you need to do your research on whether there's back taxes owed, any liens that would be coming with the property. So do your due diligence on the auction sites. Zillow, right on the MLS or Zillow. For sale by owner, there's a website called forsalebyowner.com. And that's where people who don't want to pay realtors go and list their own properties. And there's a lot of other listing sites like Property Source. If you just go to Google and you say properties for sale, and you scroll past all the realtor properties, you're going to find different sites that have listings from the wholesalers. For sale by owner signs, if you're driving around and you see the sign, or you see a bandit sign hanging on a post, definitely give it a call. And one of my favorite is driving for dollars. Now I have to tell you, I have the privilege of one of my 4 children working with me, and he's like, let me make the list of everything you've done, Mom, because he knows we would drive for dollars. You know what you look for when you're driving for dollars? Blue tarps. I see a blue tarp and it's like, stop, turn the car around, go get the address. Why? Because typically that means it's either a rental or it's a homeowner that's having financial issues, and there may be an opportunity to help them by buying their home. And door knocking. So we've canvassed neighborhoods, we've left the leave behinds on the doors, we knock, and we just ask them, hey, do you know anybody in this neighborhood that's looking to sell? We're looking to buy a house in this neighborhood. It's not for the faint of heart, but it definitely will give you leads. And then the courthouse steps. You don't even have to look for what's for sale. If you go to the courthouse steps, they've already determined what's up there for sale. You just have to go with the cash to buy it. So that's the nearly free. But another way that you can get the leads for properties is you can market for them. And when you market for them, you're soliciting for the seller to call you. And typically when they call you, they're a little more motivated. So direct mail marketing, this can be like yellow letters, this can be postcards that you send out. Google ads, you can do marketing online, TV ads, billboards, you can get big billboards. You've seen them probably around for home investors. We buy ugly houses. They spend a lot on their billboards. SEO, radio commercials. And this is a simple one. You can do magnetic signs for your car. Elizabeth worked for me for a while, and she got to put together a bunch of signs to put out on the car for me and my real estate students. And I've bought houses because somebody followed me. Now it's kind of weird. Like I'm driving and I see this car and it follows me and I turn and it's following me and I turn and it follows me. So I make sure I'm in a really public place and I stop. And he comes running up to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And he goes, I'm not crazy, I promise. I just want to talk to you about my house I have for sale. So it works. It works. And then bandit signs. Now, bandit signs are called bandit signs because you're putting them on like stop signs and telephone poles and places that really are not they're not supposed to have signs. You know, people do it for garage sales and things like that too. The reality is if you put them up and you're in a municipality that has strict rules, you could be fined for it. So pay attention and don't just do bandit signs because you see it listed here. Make sure you understand the consequences of setting up the signs. And what I like to do is if I'm setting them up Friday, I'll go pick them up Sunday so that I'm not costing the taxpayers any money to have the compliance officers go around and pick them up. So just be wise on that. So referral sourcing, this is another way to find properties. So there are wholesalers out there that are spending the money to market. They're finding the buyer or the sellers. They're having all the time with the sellers. They're negotiating the deals, putting the contracts together, and then they're selling it to you for a profit. And it's not uncommon in the Bay Area, especially for them to make 50,000, 100,000 more. And you might think, why would you pay that much? But the reality is, if you can buy it at the price they're asking and still make money, why wouldn't you pay them that much? Because you want them to stay in business to keep sourcing the properties for you. They've spent marketing dollars, they've spent time negotiating. So, of course, it's always, you know, it's one of those things. Make sure the number works for you. If it doesn't work at what they're asking, then of course negotiate. But if it works for you, let them have the money and become one of their top buyers, right? If you go in and you're always negotiating, you're going to be at the bottom of the list. But if you go in and say, you know what, you're worth it, I'm going to give you this money, I want to be at the top of your list, you're going to be moved to the top of the list. Commercial brokers, you know, it's really a good idea if you're in the commercial space to make relationships with them. The same thing with residential brokers. And I say brokers, it could be real estate agents, it could be realtors, whatever the nomenclature is. They have access to deals that you may not have access to because people who have already decided that they're ready to sell have raised their hand and reached out to them. And so get on their good side. One of the things that I do is when I'm talking to a broker, a real estate agent, I let them know that I'm there for the quick close. So if one of their deals is falling apart, let's say it's been in escrow and it looks like the buyer is canceling, you know, they were counting on that money. So give me a call, see if I can meet the numbers. If I can't, I'll tell you what I can do. And we get the deal closed without having to wait another 30 days. In this market, especially, deals are falling out left and right because buyers get in, then all of a sudden they go to get their rates and the rates are higher, or the payments end up being higher than they were expecting, or they have to come in with more money to close. And so they cancel. So that's a good source. Family and friends, you know, contact sport here, people. Being in real estate, finding deals is a contact sport. So be talking to everybody, letting them know what you're looking to buy. Property managers. You've heard me use the term a couple times, tired landlords. A lot of landlords have property managers, but they're still tired because, you know, they've had multiple repairs. You know, we had a house in Florida that just had a mold issue. We had to rip out the entire bathroom. We had to not only rip it out, mitigate for mold, and rebuild it back in 7 days because she was just about to have a baby. If I wasn't in the business and I was trying to work a full-time job and take kids to soccer and everything else, that might have been enough for me to go, I'm done, sell the house, let's find somebody else to take over this problem. And that's where property managers come in, because a lot of times they know which of their clients are getting ready to sell. And then real estate clubs, meetups, associations such as SJREI, going to these and talking to people, you find deals. So get out and contact, get in front of people, start talking to people, let everybody know that you're looking for deals. So, there was 31 ways. Which one is the best? My thought, pick one, anyone, and invest into it. Stay focused on one until it's repeatable and it continues to bring you all the deals. It's kind of like filling up the water here. If you're trying to put money and time into 5 or 6 different methods, spaghetti on the wall, see what sticks kind of thing, what's going to happen is you are distracting yourself. You are not staying focused. You are not going to go deep. And you might get one deal here and one deal there, but it doesn't become repeatable. And so if you get deep into one of the methods and you master it to where you can count on having, let's say one deal a month or one deal every 2 months, then you can add another one, but really specialize in one of the methods. Again, specializing, you have no distractions. It allows you to use your resources effectively because you get smarter as you do it more. You can get more efficient, and it saves time. So 90% of my deals have come from my personal method. And so I'm not just saying go focus on one because it's a way to sound simple. I'm telling you because that's what I do. So in 30 years, 90% of my deals have come from being a recognized authority. So by owning SJREI and being out there in the public eye, writing articles, using my publicist to be recognized, people know me as the deal diva. And so they bring me deals. In that process, I have done other things like driving for dollars, direct mail, car magnets, friends and family, and outreach to others. But really, most of my deals come to me from people bringing me deals because they know about me. And there's a few more things. These are all the methods I have used. So the best way, in my opinion, is networking and being recognized as an authority. We've all heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I actually change it a little bit. It's not even who you know. It's about who knows you. And that's how you get deals. So that's why I'm saying pick one of those methods, get to know everybody that's in there. If you decide that you're going to do code enforcement, get to know the code enforcement officers, and see if they won't give you a call when they're out delivering notices, and maybe you can do a door knock or something with them. The other 10% came from TV and direct mail. So what I want to do is I've got 4 different deals that I'm just going to highlight here, share a little bit about how I found them, how I structured them. Because remember in the beginning, I said, good deals can be found, but great deals are created. And so this is one of the ones where this was a deal that was on the MLS marketplace. It was listed for $925. It's a duplex up in Nevada. So we went in and negotiated with the seller. We were able to get the seller to be the bank, and they agreed to a number of $853,000 with 20% down. Now remember, it was listed on the MLS for $925, but after they would have paid all the fees and stuff, they might have ended up similar to the price that we offered. So that's where we came up with that number. So we did our inspections, finding out what it is we had, and there was about $25,000 of Section 1 repairs that had to be done. So I went to negotiate with the sellers, and they were so afraid that I was going to back out because of the amount of repairs. They really just wanted to see this sold. They were tired of it. And so I was able to negotiate $25,000 down instead of 20%. And the reason they took that is that they understood I would be putting in for repairs. So really I was putting 50,000 in, right? Because I had to do the repairs for the 25,000 and then the other 25,000. And they knew that I was going to close. It was done. So they accepted that. So I got into a duplex for $25,000 down. They were the bank. They financed it at 4% interest only for 10 years. Good deal. I think this is a great deal. And it's a great deal because of how we renegotiated everything. So let's take a look at what the numbers look like. So purchase of 853. It's a depreciable asset, so I would be able to depreciate 682,000 of it. You can't depreciate land. That's the difference, right? So you can depreciate the improvement, everything vertical, the concrete driveway, the carport, but you can't depreciate the land. So the 682,000 is the depreciation. This is considered residential. Residential depreciates at 27 years. So essentially you take the 682 divided by 27.5. So every year I get an expense. So it acts like an expense. I'm not paying it out. And it's $24,000. So if I take the $24,000 and my income on this net, after taxes, insurance, repairs, everything is about 20,000. That means that I have a loss on my tax return. Even though I got $19,000 cash in my pocket, it shows $5,500 loss on my tax return, which equates to me saving some money on my taxes. Now, for living in California, you have 28% Fed, 13% state, it's about $2,200 tax savings. So, it's a pretty good deal. I have about $21,000 of income because I'm saving on taxes and I'm getting income. And I put in all of $25,000. So 86% return, cash on cash. Good deal. Anyone else want one? Yes. Yes, I think everyone wants one of those. So definitely a good deal. All right. I think that we already talked about that one. So this is a case study. Again, this is one where somebody came to me and said, hey, we know that you put deals together. So this was because of SJREI. So being a known authority. In this particular one, this person is looking for limited partners. So they brought the deal to me saying, hey, do you think you can help us raise $3.75 million? What they're building is luxury storage units. So you see this acreage here is plus or minus about 5 acres in South Carolina. And what they'll put in are garage style storage units. So these aren't your normal storage units. These are set up, 15 feet wide and long so that you can put in boats and RVs and exotic cars, things like that. So 15 feet by 35, 40, 50, 60 feet. So that's what the unit sizes are. And these units sell anywhere from $196 a square foot or rent for $1.20 a square foot. Even people who are doing like Amazon delivery businesses will rent these. And so you get really good returns on this. The cost for the land and to build it will be about 9.3 million, and the exits projected around 15.5 million. So that's a $6 million profit. And I think that's just showing a site plan. So what they're offering the LPs, the limited partners, is 50%. So what that turns out to be is about an 83% cash on cash return, or annualized 46% IRR. So again, this is a deal that came to me because of referral, because somebody knew about me. And so if I were to make an investment in this or have any of my investors invest in this, typically you come in with about 250,000, and over the 18 months you would earn 207,000 on top of the 250,000. Okay. So this one you guys may have seen before. This is our project in San Jose. It's a pretty exciting project. So what we did is, this was found by a mentor student. Again, brought to me by somebody I was mentoring. I taught her how to go find properties. So she spent the time to go find it and then brought me a property. What she brought was actually just one property here on the left. And I said we needed the whole block. So we negotiated with the sellers, or the owners of these, or sellers is what they became, and got the whole block under control. So we assembled from 3 owners. We only closed on one, and this is what makes the deal so great. If I would have done this like most people, I would have closed on this entire block. Most people think you have to own things to do entitlement. No, you only have to control it. If I would have closed on this, I would have had about $18.5 million worth of debt that I would have been servicing for 3 years. Having that much debt to service would bring my returns down substantially. But by having contracts on it and not having to service that, our returns are phenomenal. Now, why did I close on the center parcel? The logic is that if somebody were to come and try to negotiate with the sellers, they would have to also get our centerpiece. In other words, nobody could do what we're doing without having our centerpiece, because we're right in the middle. So this was a play for protection, because yes, people are in contract to sell us the property, but they could sell it to somebody else, and then we would have to fight in court to get it back. By doing this, we were protecting ourselves. So in this particular area, we used the general planning code, which was allowing urban village changes, which means that we could go up to 7 stories, we could have higher density, and this is how we were able to add value. So not just buying a retail center and just leaving it retail, we added value. And we added about $10 million of value to this one block with the work that we did. And it was paperwork, architects, meetings, that kind of thing. So in this particular deal, we're offering our limited partners a share. They will get 60% of the profit. This is done with K1s. And so it comes to you, as a K1. Right now, we have everything done as far, and let me just clarify. This is entitlement. We are entitled to build the pictures that you see here. This is the safest place to be. We are not building this. We are just entitled to sell it to somebody who will build it. And so it's essentially listed on the market and sell it. That's what we have left. And we're offering our limited partners on this 60% of the profit of our sale, from what we purchased it, what we paid to have it entitled, to what we'll exit. And the projected profits will be about 85% ROI in 18 months or less. So what that means is that if you were to invest 100,000, you could potentially get as much as 85,000. So again, this is a deal that's created. We created it by adding value. So I'm just sharing that. Yeah. Okay. And this one's kind of anomaly, but I wanted to share it because again, it goes back to when you're recognized as an authority, people send you stuff. So this one is actually medical marijuana in Mississippi. And so right now, like as of 2021, medical marijuana was a 25 billion with a B billion-dollar industry. And by 2026, they expect it to be 47 billion because other states are now coming on board and legalizing it. Mississippi is one of those states that's coming on board. And in this particular project, there's an opportunity for people to invest. They expect the income to be 62 million for the year. Actually, it's going to be more. They were able to expand the size of the facility, but that's what the projections are right now. And, you know, if someone was to participate with 150,000, they could see annualized returns paid out every year of 25%. And this is a 3-year investment. What we're going to do with this one, because there's a lot of information, if this is something that you have possible interest in, then what I suggest is head out to this link here. Let me grab put this in the chat. Sign up for Saturday and we'll have a discussion about if you have interest in participating or not. This is definitely something a little bit odd, but you know, when times get tough, sometimes people look for escapes. And so this might actually be a good opportunity. Just saying. All right. Let's do some Q&A. What questions do you guys have about what was presented? Don't everybody speak at once. Go ahead and raise your hand if you have questions. All right, Bola, you want to unmute?
Hey, hi there, Lori. I'm so sorry that I came in a few minutes later. I just wanted to, say that, just say thank you for for sending me the email for last week's, presentation. I got it. I saw it. It was just awesome. So
Awesome.
it is working. But, for that second study that you said that you were gonna get the block, that I think it was the residency,
Yep. It's assisted living memory care, correct? Yep.
yeah. How much was it? Because just having that whole block, that just seems like, oh my God, that must have cost you about 7 figures or
Yeah. So
more.
the whole block is about 18.5 million, but we didn't
Oh
close
my
on it,
God.
right? So we didn't close on it. We just have it under
Mm,
contract. So it's control. You don't have to own to make money. You just control. And that's the key
mm.
to making great deals.
Okay, because I always thought that you had to have to own something, especially as a real estate investor. You have to own something, especially with Airbnb. But then even then they said that you don't have to own the property,
No.
own that space too. So it really got me thinking because it's like, okay, like y'all didn't, yeah, you said you didn't own it. So
Yep. Pretty
okay.
cool, right?
Very interesting. Now hearing it, because I always hear it from other gurus,
Yep.
but to hear it from you, who's here from San Jose, then it's like, okay, it's really eye-opening.
Yeah. Provides a lot of opportunity.
Yeah,
All right, Bola, thank you. I'm going to move on here to Robert.
thanks.
Oh, sorry, Robert. I think I need to have you unmute again. Perfect.
Let me mute.
Hi, Lori. Thanks
Hi.
for having me. My question is, I saw your just last slide on cultivation,
Yes.
cannabis cultivation. Are there similar rules here in California, or have they jumped on board yet with any type of regulation as far as cultivating cannabis?
So there's licenses in California to allow it. It's just very regulated, and it's actually a little more regulated than it is in some other states. And
Okay.
even so, the returns aren't as strong in California because of the cost of the regulation and the taxation on it. And
Okay.
that's why we looked in Mississippi, because Mississippi is just coming online now, like new. They just figured out last year how to get the cards in the hands of the consumers, the whole process for the approval. And so now they're ready to come live. So it's a brand new market getting ready to open. And that's what's exciting is it's in a red state.
Yes, I know. With
So
good
less
news.
legislation and a brand new boom. So it's not a dead thing. A lot of people think, oh, well, we already missed the cannabis because it's been out, but it really hasn't. If you look at how many states have it legal and don't have it legal. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Elizabeth.
Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Hi. So this is this is related to architecture. Who did the site?
So we had Sal Caruso help us with the entitlement process, and he did a beautiful job. He was able to listen to all the stakeholders. If you're not familiar with entitlement, typically you have several rounds where everybody gets to put in what they want to see. And when I say everyone, I mean the government, the community, the public works, the neighbors. It's crazy. So you have all these stakeholders saying what they want to see, and then you try to meld it into a project that everybody approves. And we're really proud of it. We had 100% unanimous approval at Planning Commission, which is,
Wow.
yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, you know where to send your deals if you come across anything. Even if you want some help, like analyzing a deal, seeing if you can make it a better deal, make sure you reach out to me. And I just want to make a call out. Jeremy Knopf is my publicist. He's the one that puts me out there, makes me look like a really smart person. Actually, he's helped me quite a bit. I mean, even today, he had it set up where I was just interviewed by Forbes. And so there's going to be an article that I'll be participating in Forbes. Because of being out there, deals come my way. And so I just want to share with you, if you guys go ahead and book a strategy session, what I will do is I will also send you a replay of Jeremy's how to be featured in the media. So Jeremy held a webinar today that was how to be featured in the media. There were so many gold nuggets there. And so if you want a copy of that, book a strategy call. If you want a strategy call, book a strategy call. And when you do, there's going to be a few questions, but it's just to help me so that I can be of most value and service to you. I really do want to help you. I want to see you be successful. And so take the time and let's get to